Let me just go ahead and share my screen. I'm the next up here. We're going to talk a little bit about one of the things you mentioned was securing the system. And here at IBM, we have a Linux system that we're going to talk a little bit about. And there's a reason why we're talking about it. So the system we're talking about is, let me make sure I'm on here. Connect here. And this is actually my position. I'm a LinuxONE SME for IBM. My name is Greg Hadley. And here we go. Good to go. Okay, so LinuxONE. So LinuxONE essentially is a very large, secure Linux server. And when we talk about data, with good data, you have good AI. How do we secure that data? How do we make sure that that data stays confidential and is not intercepted while it's being passed over the network, while it's being used in our applications? So LinuxONE is the most powerful and secure Linux server that is in the world. It has never been breached since its release in 2015. It's just designed to run an entire Linux environment on a single server. So when we talk about attack surface, making your attack surface smaller from a hardware perspective, also there's less vulnerabilities that hackers will be able to have access to, whether that's physically or over the internet. It features some of the fastest processors that we have available, called the Telum processor, and has some on-chip AI accelerator. So the reason I'm saying all of this, and the reason I'm telling you about this, and this is really for our students as well, what types of organizations use LinuxONE today? So there's universities, who you're going to hear a little bit more about later. We also have healthcare, government agencies, and banks. And so, the reason why these businesses are leveraging this technology is because of some of those things that I mentioned, being availability, security, and stuff like that. And availability not being, what you're doing on Tuesday, but what your system, when your system's available, how often it goes down, and how much downtime you can tolerate per year. And when you look at some of these organizations, for example, healthcare or banks, if Instagram goes down, there's not going to be that much interruption to service. So maybe you're going to put your phone away, you're not going to look at it. Maybe when you open it again, hopefully it works. If a healthcare company goes down or a bank goes down, that's going to be denial of services to those users, to those customers. For example, not being able to get your prescriptions filled or not being able to move money around in a bank. That's a huge issue. And that's why when I say availability, that's one of the biggest areas that we focus on with this platform. And kind of the so what, why am I talking to you guys about this? 80% of enterprises today are powered by Linux. It's the fastest growing operating system. 71% of Fortune 500 companies today are using the LinuxONE architecture, and there's 91 colleges and universities using LinuxONE in 2025. So kind of what I'd like to say here is this is a extremely powerful platform. It's being used all over the place. And kind of the key piece at the end here is this is something that you students and professors have access to for free. And that's through the LinuxONE Community Cloud. So the LinuxONE Community Cloud is these two machines running at Marist College. We have a virtual interface that we're going to showcase. I have my technical counterpart here as well. We're going to walk you through how to set it up and show you how to deploy an AI model on that. And the reason I just wanted to highlight that is this is something that we're seeing universities use more and more for capstone, for coursework, for projects. So just wanted to highlight this and just give you guys a quick overview before we have some of the other speakers who we're going to have. They're going to talk about this, also at an enterprise level and its use in research and stuff like that. But just to give you a quick introduction to LinuxONE, if you do hear it, which you will, coming up as well. So any questions about the community cloud while I get set up for our next speaker? Yes.
Difference between the LinuxONE and Linux V8.
Sorry, what?
Linux V8 and the LinuxONE. What's the difference?
Linux VM?
V8.
V8.
Yes.
Are you saying, so the LinuxONE is a hardware, if you're saying Linux V8 being the operating system?
Yep.
So that would run, and we have three types of distributions that's available on LinuxONE. So that's RHEL, Ubuntu, and SUSE. So those are the three distributions of Linux that we support. And then this is actually like a huge secure server. And if you look at my LinkedIn, I took a picture in front of one. It's like way taller than I am. And this is, that's the physical.
They much more preferred than the V8. The V8 that CompTIA is offering for students. So I want to know the distinction because I'm currently on CompTIA TTT
Okay.
for Linux V8. So since I'm learning about this now, I want to know what's the distinction and if this has like the desktop version and the server version, those kind of information.
So specifically for the community cloud, you can create an instance on the web. There's like a web where you can spin up an instance and you can select your distribution from there from those three. And then you can access that through like a CLI or a terminal. And we're going to show you how to walk through that as well.